Welcome to Stories from the Center of the Universe, the podcast about the human experience.
The Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant, is with us today. I am so excited. I know the occasional co-host, Kevin, is very excited. Welcome to the Center of the Universe, Boogie.
Whoo, Message. First of all, I'm going to tell you something, Big Paul, man. Hey, I'm a big fan of yours. And, hey, Flip, man, look at that cat, man. He's sitting there. Flip, hey, this is blowing me away, man. Hey, Flip, man, sitting there, and he's got a bikini on, you know. But the whole thing is, you know what he's got? He's just got the top piece on. Where's your bottom piece? I don't know. Do you got the bottom piece on?
No, I can see that he doesn't have the bottom piece on.
Hey, Flip, man, you wild, brother, man. God bless you, man. But anyway, hey, you know I'm a big fan of both of y'all, Big Paul, and hey, I listen, and the fan of everybody, man, right here. His story is from the center of the universe, man. Hey, you know, and all I want to do, brother Ben, is just whatever you can handle, big man. You know, hey, Big Paul, hey, whatever flows off, rolls off, I'm gonna be there to scoop it up, man.
You're the man.
Yeah,
You're the
baby.
man.
Yeah, baby. Thanks
it.
for having me, man.
Thanks for being here. Let me go put my pants on.
That's the best opening ever, and I appreciate the reminder that he doesn't have any pants on.
Yeah, man. Hey, you just let it air out, brother. You're good. Hey.
We're out here in Shawsville.
Shawsville, baby.
I'm the only one who can
Beautiful.
see him right now.
There you go. There you go.
Probably good. All right, Boogie. Where'd you grow up? Where were you born? Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, man. Hey, I was born 1942, baby. And, you know, hey, this is what, 22? Hey, and I couldn't figure it out, man. People saying happy birthday, and I figured out, let me see, 42, 22. Brother, that's 80 years, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I can't keep up, man. I can't keep up with the dates, man. But, hey, I know, you know, I don't know where I wrestled last night, but I'll tell you where I wrestled. And you know, the first match, you never forget that. And, of course, where you was born. I was born in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And, you know, it's just 30 miles from the, excuse me, go ahead, talk.
No, you're good.
Yeah, we're good.
Tullahoma, Tennessee.
Yeah,
I love it.
Do you know where that is?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
But he's going to tell us.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, baby. That's right there in Mid-Side. It's between Nashville and Chattanooga. Halfway. 75 miles, you can be in Nashville, Music City, and then another 75 the other way on 24, you can be in Chattanooga, man. Lookout Mountain, baby. You know, you see 7 states up there. But it's all just like this, all the mountains and the valleys, and it's just beautiful, man, you know. And I was there, and just here's a good thing, Big Paul. I know just maybe 20 miles from Tullahoma, Tennessee is Lynchburg, Tennessee. And you know what they make there?
They make some bourbon, I believe.
Yeah, baby, Jack Daniel. You know, and the whole thing, the little town, this is a kicker. It's a dry county. You can't even buy. No, and that's the only plant they got, and they go all over the world, man. You know, and the plant, the little town is just like 200-300 people, and of course they got more employees than the town has, you know. But my father said when he was a young boy, you know, be on the fields farming, and every time they would make a new, you know, a batch, and they would, he would smell all that coming, man, and so they knew, you know, because the air was so clear, you know, it's not like today, but anytime you're in the mountains of Virginia or you know, there, you know, brother, you get the best air there is, you know. But I was born there, and 80 years ago, and my father went. The war was wartime, and he went. Everybody signed up for the Navy. My mother had. There was 12 kids in her family, and 10 in my father's. Big family because they had to farm, and my father went in to join the Navy to help out, and his name is Jim. His name was Jim, and the recruiter says, Jim. I'm going to ask you a question. How many kids you got at home? He says, I got 5. And it just tears me up. I got chills. And he says, you go home. That's where you need to be.
Wow.
And I was the only boy. I had 4 older sisters, and I was only 2 years old. And that man, my father, God bless him, what a hard work. Went to 3rd grade, couldn't read or write, and he jumped on that because he couldn't make a living there. We was just a little small farm. We just living in a little farmhouse there, and he jumped on the train and went up to Chicago, Hegwish, Illinois, and there was a assembly plant, Ford Motor, brother, and of course they weren't making Ford; they were making war machines or whatever they're doing for the war, and he got a job, and they loved man, they loved the southern men because they could came off them farms. They're hard workers, and can you imagine getting a job you can't even read or write, but hey, man, he from Tennessee, come in, and there was thousands of people out there trying to get work, and in the yard, he told me, but he got in, God helped him, and he worked 2 weeks, and he said to the foreman, he says, if you will let me off Saturday and Sunday, I'll be back Monday morning for work, because they were working 6-7 days a week, 12 hours a day, and for wartime, and he says, I'll never miss another day, and man, he never missed another day, Wow. That's what type of provider and father he was, and so we moved to Hammond, Indiana, which is Hammond as far as north as you can get in Indiana, and it's like right on Lake Michigan, and if you leave Hammond, Indiana, you go right away across to Illinois. You can be downtown loop of Chicago. So I'm, the area is Chicago. Yep. In 30 minutes, man, you could be right downtown, all Lake Michigan. On the drive, the Dan Ryan Highway, Dan Ryan, whatever. But I was raised right there, man, Hammond, Indiana, Hoosier, and hey, I was the only boy there in Indiana, man, Hammond, Indiana, eating cornbread and biscuits 3 times a day, baby, and when I went to school, they thought I was a Hoosier, because I started school with them, and I didn't even go to kindergarten. They didn't have it then. I just went to 1st grade, and man, they thought I was a Indiana boy, man. So I just fit right in, and I didn't have an accent where some of the other older boys had a hard time. They call them hillbillies and this and that, and it wouldn't bother me anyway. But look at the flip man. Now, what's he doing over there now?
I got my pants back on.
All right, baby. All right.
I'm good. I'm ready to rock.
He's come to his senses.
Hey, he's just Hey, Big Paul. He's just like Flair, man. He puts his pants on one leg at a time, huh? My goodness, man.
When I put them on.
Yeah, man. You got them on, baby.
I love it.
That's all. All right. So when people ask you where you're from, what do you say?
Yeah, New York City, baby. Hey, let's go from New York City, baby. Look out, man. Yeah. But here I'm a Tennessee, but by the way of Indiana and of course Virginia, but I'm the boy from New York City, so figure it out. Yeah, I've been here in Virginia 31 years. This is my home now. This is my home, baby. I met a beautiful girl, man, Angel. She's my lady, and I met her. I was doing a grand opening at the Pulaski. It's just the next couple towns over, and 32 years ago, man, and I'm doing their grand opening. That Walmart's not even there now. Is it for the Walmart? And they tore it down, whatever, and they built a bigger one, but. So I'm doing autographs, and man, I see her come through that door, man, blonde, green eyes. I said, oh my goodness, and here I'm in between, marriages. I love to be married, and I've been married my whole life, man, and I was married to First Lady 17 years, the Second Lady 13 years, and with Angel now 31 years, and so man, that's 60 years of marriage, and I'm 80, so figured I got married when I was a teenager, so I love it. But anyway, I go and so we're taking pictures, and she had to buy a little girl wanted to take a picture, so we take a picture, and it was when the Polaroids were good, Paul, Big Paul, and so then. Man, I'd like to take a picture of a flip man with them drawers off, man. Yeah. Anyway, no. He's good. He's got them on. But the whole thing is that there was a little line behind, it was grand. It was jamming, man. And so I take the picture and I'd go over to the table and I'd sign it, and while we was taking the picture, I had my arm around her and I'd say, like everybody, and I says, "Are you married?" I whispered in her ear. I didn't want her daughter to hear me, and she was 9 years old. Now she's a doctor, her daughter, Angie. And but anyway, I said, and she says, "What?" And I said, "Are you married?" She said, "No." I said, so we go over. Now I'm signing the picture. So I says, "You want to get married?" This is gospel, man. And she said, "Oh, geez."
You had known her like 15, 20
yeah,
seconds.
Oh, seconds, man. Yeah. I just seen her walking in. Oh, my goodness. And I says, she told me she wasn't married. I says, "Look, I'm not like this, but if you please, just write your name and telephone number down." And I says, because if you don't, and I said, I promise we'll take it real slow. I said, if you don't, I says, our paths may never cross. You'll go out this way, I go out this way, and we may never see each other again. But please, I'd like to see you. I'm not married, and I was in between, and so was she. And so I'll tell you how slow we took it, brother. In 6 months from the day I met her, we lived in that white house right there. We bought that white house in 2 acres here, and then we built we started building on the our Hall of Fame museum here at Boogie's Wrestling Camp.
Boogie's
baby.
Wrestling Camp.
Yeah, Shawsville, Virginia. But yeah, true story, man.
That's awesome.
Boogie, my wife is green-eyed, blonde hair, named Angel as well.
Oh my goodness.
I'm serious.
Man.
I'm not even making that up.
No.
And I got my pants back on.
Yes,
so
you
I'm
do.
not lying to you.
No, you're not jiving, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful
man, isn't that
thing.
great? Isn't that
It's
great?
beautiful.
Oh,
It's
man.
a beautiful thing.
Hey, we got a lot in common, man.
There we go.
Except them bikini top. That's the only thing. Hey, Flip, man. Hey, I tell you, yeah, we just brothers, man, forever. But I don't know about that top, man.
It's all good.
Yeah,
it's
it's
my
all
thing.
good.
It's my thing.
It's your thing,
Yeah,
baby.
I'm rocking it.
Okay, you cook it, man.
Boogie, when you were
Yeah,
10,
big
11,
ball.
12 years old, what did you do for fun?
Yeah, I played baseball, and 12 years old, I never forget, man. And all of a sudden, my heart started jacking around on me, and missing stuff and that, and I thought, oh man, something's going on. And so I didn't want to tell the coach. I didn't want to tell my mom and dad. I didn't want them to, take me out, and never knew what it was. And then I seen this ad. So this Big Paul, I seen this ad. Everybody seen the Atlas ad, where guys kicking sand in a skinny guy's face, and he shoves them and takes it. Just a 6 little pictures thing, and brother, I just stared at it, man. How to build muscles in 6 days or 2 weeks or something. Yeah, dynamic tension. Send for the course. I filled it out 10 cents, brother. It cost, and send it back. And oh man, I wanted to build my body. I seen that, it just blew me away. And I says, oh man, I want to work out. I want to do this. And my dad, I says, Dad, how do you do this? And he says, I can get a big barbarian, that he was a millwright. That's more than a maintenance man. He could take apart anything. He could, man. He was so such a good mind, worker in mind, and he became a millwright there at Ford, and so he welded a handle on it. He did everything, and he brought it home to me, and we weighed it, and it weighed something like 14 pounds or something, and I lifted it until I didn't know what I was doing, till everything burned. I jumped down, do 25 push-ups, jump in my bed, and my heart going ding, 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 and I'm just dreaming about, whatever I wanted, big muscles and whatever, and bing, I go right to sleep. But anyway, my heart thing. So then I started playing football in 7th grade, 8th grade, and 4 years of high school at Hammond Tech, and all in Hammond. And man, all the doctors, everybody, nobody could catch what it was, but the thing is, you know what? I just found out when I was like 73, they sent me over, and I just, the doctor there, he says, you got AFib, you got.
You didn't learn until you were 73.
No.
Oh my goodness.
No, but I knew it, and I'd go. It'd take me so long to go out, at night, to go to sleep, you know, and oh my goodness, and sometimes I'd have to take a lamp, you know, off the thing and knock myself out almost to go to sleep, you know, and yeah, and I got AFib and but it's good. But I handled it my whole life, and it's not bad. It's just like it always was, and you know, I got a little medicine for it now to help. But yeah, man.
That's a hard way to go to sleep.
Yeah, it is the hard way, baby.
See what I did there?
Yeah.
The hard way.
That's the hard way, baby.
I'll
yeah.
put my pants back off.
Yeah, you know, years ago, Flip man, you know, they called it this a hard way. This reminds me, if you would get, you know, blood on yourself, you know, accidentally on purpose, they don't care if you sock yourself in the eye. To draw, if you drew blood on yourself, they'd give you an extra $25, and that was a lot of money back in the '60s, you know, and because your payoff might not even be 25, it might be 20 or 17 or whatever, you know, but so the old timers, boy, they'd run themselves into the poles, you know, the ring post and or man, I seen them sock themselves, brother. Man, I said, geez, man. But one was the sweet man, he was Sputnik Monroe, brother. Okay. Oh my goodness, he had so many scars. Oh man, he called himself the sweet man, and in fact, he had on his breast up here, he had the tattoo "sweet and sour," and oh, he was wild, man. And he had pure black hair. What a character, man. And we got so many, but he was the best, and he really I love to be around him. He was on his way out when I was just starting, but boy, I'd pick his brain. But he had black hair, jet black, and he'd put a white, like a skunk. He had a white streak right through the middle, just like a skunk, and skunk man. And he called everybody puke. Hey puke, hey puke, and he had a ring, and it was initials puke on it, you know, with diamonds on it, man, and oh, he was a mess. He was Cadillac, he called himself Cadillac, and sweet man, baby.
I love it.
All right, how'd you get into wrestling, professional wrestling?
Yeah. Well, I started training again. I wanted to build my body, and I wanted to do something with it, so. I started in with health clubs when I was in high school, and man, I just went there, brother, man, and I always took charge, you know, of whatever I want to do on my own, and I went there, and I didn't have no money, you know, and I says, man, I said I want to train and all this. I talked to the boss there and the owner. And I says, man, I'll mop, I'll sweep, I'll clean everything, pick up the towels, I'll do the line, you know, if you let me train here. And you know, I got in, man. I got in, brother. And that way I worked for him, and I trained. And then I trained, man. And so I learned all that. And that's how I got started there. And then I continued with him. Then I went to another guy. And these guys were the old, they were first started with Victani. These are all national chains. And then it went to the American Health Studios. And Victani went out, and then here comes the American Health Studio. And then when they went out, then the other guy was Frank Zila, the other promoter. The other guy was Phil Walker. So I worked for both of them at both gyms, and they both owned at that time the studios. So all of a sudden I'm there, and I'm managing his club, and now I'm out of high school, and I that's my job, man. And of course I'm getting paid. I got a family. I already got a baby on the way. I already had a baby, and so I had to make money to of course rent and do everything, man, which is cool. But you could, man. Hey, I was making like $3 an hour, and that's $100 a week, and man, and the women didn't work then, and man, I paid for everything for $100. You could though. You could. and we didn't have nothing left over at the end of the week. But brother, I did everything with the car, and I'd buy a car for $100, $150, and I'd drive that sucker until it stopped, and I'd park it on the side of the road. I'd pull the tags off and see if I got anything in there. I'd hitchhike home. Hey, brother, next week I'd have me another $100 car. And they just come and look at it and pull it to the junkyard. You know, you could do stuff like that years ago. And I was just a kid. And but anyway, so I'm with the Frank Zila, and he was an old-time wrestler. He was an old-time wrestler, and which I heard of, knew, but I didn't. He hasn't wrestled in 10 years, you know, because I've been with him since high school, you know, and here I am now, you know, in my early 20s, his old-time wrestler came in. His name was Nikolai Volkov, and now not the Nikolai Volkov that people are thinking that teamed up with the Iron Sheik in the 78. No, this guy, the Volkovs, Nikolai and Boris Volkov, they were hot in the 40s and 50s. See, and they were red hot. They were the hottest thing in the country. And his name was Steve Gobb, and he was New Jersey boy, and he was the Olympic weightlifter, and oh man, they both had barrel chest. Because Frank Zila, my boss, and he went as Boris in a second. I'm gonna tell you, but they both had big chests, man, you know, and oh man, Russian man, two Russian guys, and he was gonna make him his partner, Boris Volkov, you know, and he wanted one more run. He was then a steamcoat captain, you know. A barge, you know, pushing a barge as a captain. And he took 6 months off, and he wanted one more run, Nikolai did. And he came to he had in mind, man, I'm going to get Frank to be my partner. We're going to go just one more time. I just need one more. So he took a leave of absence or vacation or whatever. And because they'd be out on sea for months, you know, 3-4 months at a time. But when he introduced me, he says, Jimmy, he says, man, you should do this, you know, because Frank's getting back into it as a Volkov brother. And he says, you should do this, man. He says, you're young, you're good looking, you got nice hair, you got good body. And he says, man, he says, you know, you got the total package, man. And you got good personality, you got charisma, man. And so he's telling me all this stuff. And, well, he's my boss. And you know, I says, yeah, man. And so he says, I'm going to train you, you know, hour every day and on the clock. Hey, he's my boss, man. I said, you bet, let's do it. So I tell my partner, another real big kid, a Marine, he just got out of the Marines, and he was early 20s, and his name was Gary Molenauer, and so he would tell us, he'd come in. We had no ring. We'd go in the dojo room, and all it was a mat on the floor, no ring, no nothing. And he first week he come in, and he says, okay, just wrestle for the whole hour, every day for an hour, and just wrestle. Well, here we tied up, man, like two bulls, but we just young, raw-boned kids, man, 20 years old, both of us, and we were, you know, partners. And he was I was managing, and he was one of the instructors, and oh man, and so they thought we was brothers anyway, and boy, we just killed each other, man. That first day, man, my lip is like this. He's got a black eye, cut eye, and we go into the steam room after that, and boy, we just start laughing. I says, brother, it's got to be something easier than this, because we're brothers, man. You know, but we're killing each other. We're scared. I go home, man, and that night, and man, I'm pulling the sheet off my elbows and knees. I'm just, you know, all raw, man. You know, I just all kinds of mat burns and everything, because all it was a karate mat, you know, and So anyway, that the next week, his thing is, okay, he showed us how to pick each other up and slam. He says, slam each other as many times as you can, and then he says, wrestle for the rest of the hour. Okay, the next week, he says, okay, he showed us a forearm, how to do forearms, and then he took a headlock takeover. He showed us that, and then wrestle, and then slam. Well, we did this 3 weeks, and he says, now we're going to me and Nikolai, we're going to Ohio, and we're going to bring you guys what size boots you guys wear, what size trunks, and we told him, and he brought blue trunks back and black boots for us, so we were set. And when he gave that to us, then in a couple of days he called me in, or called me at home. He says, "Can you come in a little early?" And next day I said, "Sure." And so I came in to see the boss, and I had my own key, and before it opened the gym, and I see him in the office, and everything's dark, and he had sunglasses on, and so I go in, and I says, "You okay, man?" You know, and he says, "Yeah." He says, "I just had some kind of procedure done," and he pulled his glasses off, and both eyes are just swelled black and almost shut, man. And what he did was had that hair. They take plugs out, and that was years ago. Now this is 1964, you know, 64, because we only had 3 weeks of training, and he says, me and Nikolai are on top at the St. Andrews in Chicago, north side of Chicago, gym, and we're wrestling 2 of the veterans, and these guys were red hot at one time, but they're all old timers, just like the Volkov, and that was Billy Gills and Gilbert, and they were called the G-Man. But they were on their way out again, and so was okay. Now the whole thing is, he says, I'm going to Florida. He didn't want nobody to see him, of course.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. And then he says, I'm going to Florida this whole week and heal up, and I'll be back in about a week. And he says, you work the gym, and he says, but Saturday night, you and Gary, he says, I already talked to the promoter. You're Jimmy and Gary Valentine from Hollywood, California. He says, I want you to bleach your hair, both you guys. And he says, you got your trunks and boots. He says, just go and buy some kind of real fancy shirts or jackets to wear out. And I said, okay. And he says, now, Jimmy, he says, go downstairs. And he says, in the basement, which I knew, I was there so many years. He says, see Bobby. Bobby Manigoff was a world champion, just like Flair. He's got the same NWA belt that Flair had, that Harley Race had, and, you know, Briscoe, you know, the Funk, you know, everybody had this yeah, same one. But he had it in 1942, the year I was born, and Bobby Manigoff. And check, you all out there, wrestling fans, check it out, brother. 1942, you'll see Bobby Manigoff, world champion, NWA. And he was there then, older man, God bless him. And he had a coma in his eyes. He was almost blind, couldn't see. But he was doing the massages down there, see, and for the men, and that's how he was making his living then. And he says, you go talk to Bobby, and which I never knew, you know. He says, and he'll talk to you. I already talked to him because, you know, we had no experience at all, right. You know. And so during, he says, don't bother him now, he says, because it's how he make his living, but every chance you get, and you know, blah, blah, blah. So I had lunch with him every day, and then I'd see he wasn't busy, I'd go and talk, but real funny, Big Paul, the first time he says, come here, kid, and he says, okay, let's tie up, let me see what you got. And boy, I tied up like me and Gary's tied it, like bulls, you know, boom, he said, whoa, whoa, and his voice, it just echoed. We were downstairs in the basement of the gym, and it just echoed, and he laughed, he had the real husky voice, and oh man, he says, whoa, where you going? Slow down, kid. Jeez, he says, man, if you want to be in this thing, you know, you gotta, you know, slow it down. So nobody ever said anything, but brother, they never, you know, said nothing. That you learned on your own. There was no school or nothing. That was the school right there, and he wasn't even there. He never watched us one time. He just told us what to do on a Monday, and that was it. And now we're going. Oh, we're in the main event now. You're right. So We get there, me and Gary, and oh man, we're just scared to death, and man, just so nervous, and man, we got there so early, and finally that we seen the custodian open the big doors in the back there, and he said, waved us in. He says, y'all early, man, but he's seen we got to be wrestlers how we looked, and so we got our stuff on and all that, and then here comes all the stars in, and I started watching wrestling then, and I recognized, Moose Cholak, Paul Christie, Johnny Case, the first time, Sailor Art Thomas, and some big stars, were that worked around Chicago, and so they were there, and so one of them says, how many matches you guys had, and I says, oh man, we had 6, 7. Yeah, I thought that was a lot. You're like boxing, man, 6, 7 pro matches. Well, they look at our shoes, and we got them. They're brand new. You can see, man, we just got them, man, just 3 days ago. And brand new tights and trunks. I mean, and we didn't know. See, boxers, they tie their shoe and they got the laces are just hanging down where they do the footwork, and the laces are moving, and it's all cool. But the wrestlers don't do that. The wrestlers, they tie it, then they push it down in. You just watch them look at the next pro match, and you never see no shoestrings hanging down like boxers. See, so that was a dead giveaway, and that was and here's a kicker right there, Big Paul, is that in the 80s I worked for the Crockett's, and we worked 7 days a week, and twice on Saturday and twice on Sunday. So I really actually wrestled 9 times a week. I mean, I told him 6, 7 times. Man, in the 80s, every week, you could eat that 6 or 7 times up, But, yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, Kevin's going to hit you with some
yeah, baby.
questions.
So, these are some of the wrestling fan questions. Now, you can do this however you want. We can do rapid fire. Give me a little promo on each, but I'm going to throw some names at you.
Uh-huh.
And you just tell me what comes to mind when you hear these
okay,
names.
Flip
and
Man. Go for it,
I'm going to
baby.
start with your WWF.
Start with Flip Man. No.
Hey, well, you can cut a promo on me in a little bit.
Baby.
Sounds like you already have, though. So, Hulk Hogan, what is the first thing you thought when you saw Hulk Hogan?
Yeah. First time I seen him was in Memphis, Tennessee. They just came in on a bus, brother, man. Him and Dizzy Hogan or wherever the Boulder Brothers, I think they went as. And I just did a video, Son of a Gypsy, a song. I sang a song, and we took a video. This before MTV even did that. Jimmy Hart was so far ahead. Jimmy Hart was one of the Gentries, and they had Keep on Dancing, It's Hot, Man,
Yep.
rock and roll. Okay. So he was there, and he wrote the song, he did the music, and I sung it. And he had white tuxedo, tails, man, and everything. Anyway, they showed that before Hogan, that Saturday before I was coming. I was in New York. So I flew into New York, from New York to Memphis, to do Monday night, and boy, Hogan was all over me, man. Because he loved the music, because he played music. He actually played and sung, or I don't know if he sung, but he played music, and he was in a band, and then the wrestling, and then I'm in New York City, and so this was our first meeting, and I'll tell you, he didn't have a dime, brother. When he got there off a bus, man, and Jerry Jarrett says, son, you're going to have to get a car, man. He said, I ain't got no money, man. Him and Hogan, him and Dizzy, which is Beefcake,
Yes.
which was Beefcake. That was his partner. And they came together. And so he says, okay. He said, what I'm going to do, he says, I'm going to bring you a car Tuesday. I'm going to have it sent down. So he goes over, he gets a new Lincoln every year, and he does that's his buddy, brand new Lincoln people. So someone just turned in a new Lincoln, and not a new one, but a used Lincoln, very low mileage, and they were big boats then, And he says, okay, I'm gonna charge you $1,000 for this, And he says, what we're going to do is take $100 a week out of your check for 10 weeks, and that's how you're going to pay for this. And he said, okay. So if he made it $250 that first week, he made $150.
Right.
Whatever it takes. 10 weeks, and it's his car. And so he says, oh man, Hanson, would you go on the loop, because we had to go from Memphis after Memphis Coliseum. And I already sent promo in, and he seen that, and I did an interview, and me and Lawler against someone, or I was against Lawler, I can't even remember. But then we went on the loop, and went to the next day Louisville Garden, and then we stayed over, partied. The next day, boom, we go to Evansville, and then they went on to another town. I stayed in Evansville and flew back to New York. So I had 3 shots, but with them, and it was cool, because first day, brother, them cats are up, man, early, and they're sun lamping and getting sun, and eating protein and vitamins, and shooting themselves with as before they did steroids. I'm sure, boy, I know they did, but vitamin B12 shots and liver shots, and man, they were just really freaks, and which is great, man. I'm not knocking them, maybe because I did it too, But the thing is, then we worked out. Then we worked out, and then now we got to go 400 miles for our work, and then we next morning he's got a big cooler, and I'm in the back seat, big cooler, man, and he got all the apples, oranges, all kinds of fruit floating around in there, and the ice and water, and then he's got wine coolers, for the night. We're gonna party some, and then yogurt, a lot of vanilla yogurt things, and so he had health in there, and then little other stuff, and then so then I says, brother, I know you guys got to be starved, man. I says I got it was called Huff's smorgasbord. I says, man, all you can eat for $3.50. You know what I mean? And this was in going through Nashville. That's halfway to Louisville, and them guys took the tray. They didn't take no plates. They took a tray each, and they went and they filled half that tray with salad, flip man, and the other half with nothing but chicken breast. So boom, and that was their dinner, and I did the same thing, man. I'm just going along with everything, and so they just start eating and that, and it was they were already hip to good nutrition and I wasn't, and I seen the first time I seen this happen, they pulled off all the skin. Of that, wouldn't eat that, and it was all that good white meat, and eat the salad, and that was it. So I learned that, but that was our first meeting right there. But real fast, because then earlier, before I got my break and everything, I'm there with Dick the Bruiser. He was my mentor, and Vern Gagne, and man, these guys and the Sheik. But Vern Gagne and Bruiser was really interested in me, and they didn't want to use Vern Gagne wouldn't use Valentine because of Johnny Valentine, Jimmy Valentine, John, too close. But so they called me Jimmy the Body Valentine. I had a real good body then, and then they says, but Jimmy says, you're too lean. The people want to see big people out there. He says, so you got to gain weight. I didn't know how to do that. But I want to tell you, people right there, man, if you want something like I did, you're going to do it no matter what. Just like I told you how I got a job, I went in there and told him, man, let me do this for you. I went and got a job at a gas station, and I just put clean clothes on. I put a rag in my pocket, hanging out, you know what I mean? And I went in there, and I just wanted to pump gas, man, and I got a job, brother. If you want it, you're going to do it if you want something. And so what I did, I said, well, I'm thinking, because this is before I met Hogan, before I knew all about the nutrition. And I says, okay, how do you how do you gain weight? Will you eat? How do you lose weight? You don't eat. It's that simple. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
So I started eating. So I would have 6 sandwiches for lunch. This is gospel. Brother, that's 12 pieces of bread, man. You know what I mean? Now, oh, geez, can you imagine that? All that carbs and then, but then I'd eat. I'd make sure I'd get a dozen eggs in my body a day. I'd make sure I'd get a gallon of milk in my body a day, and then everything else I could, you know. And I did, man. I got huge, you know.
Yeah.
And but a lot of it was bad. And then, of course, I trimmed back down, and you know, when my whole career, I got up to 280. My goal was 300, and but I got up to 280, and my whole career, I wrestled around 230, 240. Yeah, for.
So your career, I'm glad you said that. One of the things that I love about your career is you, and keep me honest, your WWF run. You're mainly a heel. Then and I'm sure there was Memphis, there was times in between that, but when you end up in Mid-Atlantic, you're a babyface, the boy from New York City, but yet you wrestled exactly the same way. You never changed your tactics. You still, did heel tactics when you were babyface, but the people loved you. And I don't think there's that many wrestlers out there that could pull that off. How were you able to pull that off? Yeah,
my mentor was the first that I ever seen. And I have to give him all the credit, was Dick the Bruiser. Dick the Bruiser was the hottest heel in the world at one time. And then he got older, and then he was still Dick the Bruiser, but he was a character. He never changed his style, you know. And so when I became I reinvented myself just like he did. And when I became the Boogie Woogie Man, you got to be different. You know, Flip, man, you got to be different. And so I says, okay, what can I do here now? Okay, I'm going to come out to music. Well, no one's ever coming out to music. Ernie Roth, I came out, now this is 1980, but 1970, 71, I came out to music in Madison Square Garden, first time anybody ever did. And it was me and beautiful Bobby, not Bobby Eaton, God bless, he just passed on, I love him. But this was Bobby Harmon. This was beautiful Bobby Harmon, the original beautiful Bobby. And, there's always someone before you, Big Paul. Like Handsome. There was a Handsome Harley Race, man. There was a Handsome, whatever. There's always someone. But Boogie Woogie, man, and I said, okay, I gotta be. I'm gonna grow a beard, throw the razor away. I'm gonna come out to music. That's different. And Crockett says, what music? What? and whatever. And what happened is that I came in as King James a very short time when I first came in there, and they just gave me really no airtime. Because they didn't know what to do with me, and they teamed me up with a real short run there that summer with Greg the Hammer Valentine, and we went against the Ebony Diamond, which was Rocky Johnson, the Rock's father, Under a Hood, and Bad Leroy Brown, and so. We had a real good run there, and it was good. And then all of a sudden, Memphis calls, and I've been out of there about 3-4 months, and because I came in there from there, and he said, they said, hey, Jim, Jerry said I'd like to, have him come in for a shot, and so they asked me, and I said, yeah. So they sent a ticket and bop. So there's a couple of weeks away. Anyway, I go there. And I'm coming back because every Tuesday we do interviews in Charlotte at from 9 till we get done, and then we'd go to a shot that night and go from there. But anyway, so we would do all our interviews, and time I got there, Johnny Weaver and Jim Crockett, man, they're all in the hall. In fact, someone's out in the parking lot. Hurry, get in there. I said, okay, man. And I thought I was late, for something. But I just coming straight from the airport, took the first thing out of Memphis. And then Ole Anderson had the book then. and that's before Dusty and all that, and so they get me in that private meeting, and he says, why don't you tell me that you're this big crowd pleaser, big baby face in Memphis, man, and man, he says, Jerry Jarrett said you sold out Memphis, you and Lawler, and they jumped Lawler. A couple of guys with a good hot team there, and he called me, and I was gone long enough to really mean something, and boom, sellout. So because they're already calling for more dates, and he told them, about what happened. So he said, man, he's the best guy. He's got the best interviews. Because when they put me with King James, they put me with the manager, Lord Alfred Hayes, and what a great talker and all that. But I didn't talk. I just had a robe on and had the crown, and I just really whatever. Didn't say much, and he said it all, which he can. And I was so fortunate. Big Paul, just real fast. I'll get back. Is that man? I had Bobby Heenan, Pretty Boy Bobby Heenan, not the brain. Then he was Pretty Boy. He was my manager. I had the Grand Wizard, brother, the Grand Wizard. My goodness, the best, Ernie Roth. And I had Captain Lou Habano, man. Oh man, I had Jimmy Snake Hart. I call him the Snake. Jimmy Hart. I had so many great managers, and then of course. Lord Alfred, but when that happened, one last thing is, then when I reinvented myself, I says, okay, what else can I do? I said, I need one more thing that no one does. I'm gonna come out to music. I'm gonna be dancing, hugging. I'm gonna start kissing people. Well, nobody wants to do that anyway, so I'm pretty safe there. That's the first time, and brother, the first time, they built it up. When they says. Okay, I said, throw your razor away, and Crockett, Jarrett booked me for 3 weeks, solid over there, and when I come back, he said, we're going to have you ready as the Boogie Woogie Man. Forget King James, forget Handsome Jimmy, and that's how that thing worked right there. And you gotta be different,
Yes.
Hey, like then I first amused. We came out to music then. I remembered that, so I says, I come out to music then. I came out to music in Memphis, in the late 70s, to my own song, Son of a Gypsy, and then forget it, nobody's doing it. And then there I came out, and brother, once I came out, then all of a sudden Flair and Dusty and everybody's using music. And when I was in Memphis, and I started doing music, and then here Lawler and Dundee and Austin, everybody's got music.
Yeah.
So right now, just the last thing for this thing is that Flip Man is, if I had a chance now to work on top, to be different, I would ask, let me come out to no music.
Ah.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
It's because you gotta stand up. I was one of the first to put things on their,
That's right.
They just had tights, and maybe the the Russians or the Germans had a stripe down their long tights, or but I had. Oh, brother, I had on my trunks here. You should put this on your bikini trunk. I
will.
I put kiss my, on that. No, I had all kinds of stuff. Whatever was hot, at that time the disco was going on. I started putting, stuff, Night Fever, man, or Staying Alive, or, whatever. Whatever's happening. Yeah, baby.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You want to ask the last question?
Two more quick questions.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me about Charlie Brown from out of town?
Yeah,
You bet. Big Paul. God bless, man. The people. I've been wrestling now. Next year will be 59 years, almost 60 years wrestling, and that thing lasted only 6 months out of say 60 years. Just say, and I still hear that, they still want to talk, and it was the hottest thing ever, and it was just great, man. And the kicker was I went to Memphis. They'd send me to Memphis all the time, from Mid-Atlantic and back and forth, and so I took the Charlie Brown mask with me, and I look around, and they had one of the Moondogs, and yeah, they had. His name was Booker, and a good friend of mine, man, and he's a Southern boy. He's from Dyersburg, Tennessee, man, real Southern talking, man, slow, And I said, man, do me a favor. I says, I want you to come out of Charlie Brown, because he had the big white beard, like this, and it was Spot, and so I says, and mentioned. That hey, you're Charlie Brown, you're cleaning up Carolina, why the Boogie Woogie Man is gone, and you're gonna take care of Baron von Roski, you're gonna take care, Shaska Watley, you're gonna take care of, Barbarian, I gave him 4 or 5 names, so he writes them on this hand, And, because, we got to do this interview. And I says, and when you do, I said, I'll jump in there, and then they can see us both together, see? and then, this proves that, hey, that's not Charlie Brown. That's Charlie Brown. I'm the Boogie Woogie Man, and I'll be back just, another couple of months, and so he gets there, and it's so cool, because he's got and then he starts talking, and I'm kicking can around Carolina to Boogie Woogie gets back or whatever he says, but he's real Southern draw, and, all this, and got the beard out, got my mask on, and he says, and I want to take care of while he's gone, Baron von Roski, and then he says, Paul Jones, he's reading the names that I gave him, Abdullah the Butcher, whatever I said, and Superstar Billy was there, man. Whoever was in the But it was the hottest thing, man, in 6 months in a 60-year career.
That was one of the funniest tongue-in-cheek interviews I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Oh yeah, and then of course then the people is so good, because Bob Cottle, God bless him, he'd come out and they say, and Gary Hart, Playboy, he would say, he was Kabuki's manager, and he would say, and Paul Jones, they are all been, I involved all of them, and he would say, that's Valiant, man. That's Valiant. And Baron von Roski, I love him, man. I love him so. And he says, I looked in his eyes, and he says, you know what I seen in Charlie Brown's eyes is man. I seen Jimmy Valiant's, and I dimmer Jimmy Valiant's eyes. I know, and he was laughing at me. Oh, it was just so good. That's awesome. And all the announcer, all he had to say was, well, it says right here, it's Charlie Brown. Hey, take the mask off.
Well, you good?
Yeah.
Can we roll for a little bit longer?
Yeah, fast, and then I got to run because it's.
Tell us about your family. You talked about Angel a little bit, but tell us more about Angel, and tell us about
yes,
the rest
sir.
of your
Yeah,
family.
thank you so much, Big Paul and Flip Man. And stories from the center of the universe, man. I just honored to be on here, and please let's keep this going, man. If you need me, you just let me know. And all I want to do is be a goodwill ambassador for professional wrestling. It's been so good to me. Raised 3 families, like I told you, man, and all my kids, man, and great grandkids, and everybody. God bless them. But I got the most beautiful lady, and 31 years. I told you we've been married, and I tell people this, and they say, "Oh, come on, Boogie." And we never had an argument, and this is gospel. We don't argue, not one time, not a misword or bad word, because we refuse, and I ain't got time for it, man, it's just, she's got the Angels wrestling wear now, since 2001, so that's been quite a few years, 20 years, and of course we got Boogie's Wrestling Camp Hall of Fame Museum, and I want to invite everybody here, that's listening today, to the stories from the center of the universe, and I want you to come out any Sunday and be Angel, my guest. There's no charge. There's no ticket to buy. All the buildings will be open. I got Hall of Fame Museum here. And you go in the main camp building, watch the kids train, and you just have full access of the day. Just come and spend the day with us and be our special guest with no charge. And this is what and I'll be here. I'll be here to shake your hand and just give you a hug, whatever. Might even give you a kiss. I don't know, man. But yeah. But it's just Please check out. Just Google Jimmy Valiant. Everything will come up. 1,000 things. But our camp will come up and the address of Shawsville, Virginia. I say Shawsville. They say, oh yeah, Charlottesville. No,
right.
Shawsville, baby.
Shawsville is what? 10 minutes outside of Blacksburg.
It is right out of Blacksburg, brother, man. Yeah. And the thing is that we don't even have a stoplight here, man. It's so short and so small, check out jimmyvaliant.weebly.com. That's our website, and our webmaster is Brian. And brother, he does what a job. It's unbelievable. But now listen, there's Jimmy Valiant, one word, and there's 2 dots there. jimmyvaliant.weebly, WEEBLY.com. jimmyvaliant.weebly.com, or go to Jimmy Valiant if you want to. This is my personal one, and I'll write you right back. It's jimmyvaliant@outlook.com. jimmyvaliant@outlook.com. And brother, hey man, send me a biscuit through the mail, baby. Send me anything, But I want to say one thing, please, real fast, Woo, I said Boogie Woogie Man feel good. I'll tell my people, my brothers and sisters, don't you dare miss stories from the center of the universe with what's the man's name? Flip Man, that's right, brother, and Big Paul. God bless you. I love you guys. And hey, let me know if the Boogie Woogie Man can do anything for y'all. I love you.
You are the man, Boogie. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
God bless everyone.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to wherever you listen to podcasts. We'd also really appreciate if you'd rate and review us. You can find us at SFCOTUpodcast.com.